Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin. Today I've got my August wrap up for you. And so as we did last month, or like a couple weeks ago, maybe, unclear about when that was posted, but as we did the last wrap up, I had a spinner wheel and I had some ways to organize my wrap-ups or how to do my review for my wrap-up. And so we're gonna do it again. I've added a couple of more things on there. Let's just get into this wrap-up. But before we do, let me know what you read this month. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Any standouts? Also, before we get into it, I would just like to say, look at this stack of my read books. My bookends is looking promising. Not really. If you know it's not looking promising. But look at it. I made it somewhat of a dent. Anyway, we're gonna talk about all of these and more. Let's spin the wheel. Round and round the wheel goes. Where it ends, no one knows. I think that rhymes betterly somehow, but let's see what we've got. Okay, we're organizing by number of words in the title. So for this, I will include thes, a's. Those are the only ones that sometimes I exclude from things, but we will be including the and a. So let me take a second and sort. All right, I'm back. Let's go. So first, we're gonna start off with a title with one word, or a book with one word title, and that is Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book in the Morgan Crow Nevermore series. I still don't know what the name of the series is. That's not for me to figure out. That's a non-factor. Anyway, I gave this one 5 stars. I read the first one in June and I had a really great time with this. I'm a little bit more lenient when it comes to like middle grade because I understand and realize I'm not the target audience, so there's a little bit more give. But I actually had a really good time with this, more than I did with Nevermore. So in the entire series, we're following Morgan Crow. She comes from this place. I don't know the name of the place. But where she's from, people consider her to be just bad luck. Anything bad that happens is Morgan's fault. It's not, but they love to blame her for any and everything. And her father's just so embarrassed. And the thing is, she's gonna die on like her 12th or 13th birthday. And they're just like, good riddance. We're so happy to see you gone. And Morgan obviously feels bad because all she wants is to belong to a place, to a family, to have friends. And then in Nevermore, she gets this opportunity to leave, and she has this guardian named Jupiter something. I don't remember Jupiter's name. But he takes her and he's like, you can be a part of this wondrous society. And she has to go through some trials to get into the wondrous society. And so in this one, we're picking up as she is a part of a group in the wondrous society, and she's having some challenges because people don't really know what her special talent is. And then when they kind of find out what her special talent is, they are afraid of her. And she's trying to just teach people like, hey, I'm not actually any different than you are. I'm not a bad person. Yes, people with my special talent have done bad things, but not everyone with my special talent is a bad person. And you just really see people coming around each other, trying to like keep their friendship group intact and protect each other. And it was so fun. I will say I like this because even though the adults are stupid, which I find that in all middle grades, adults are so dumb and like never want to listen to the kids. There are some adults who take heed to what the kids are saying and actually value their opinions and their thoughts, which is very rare. So yes, 5 stars for Wundersmith. Next up on this list, we have Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. I have read something else by Jesmyn Ward, Sing Unburied Sing, and I really, really loved it. Unfortunately for me, I DNF'd this one. I think I just wasn't in the mood for it, and so I'm going to, this is not a DNF forever, this is just a DNF for now. I only got about maybe 70 pages in, and I just was not feeling the story of it. But what we have is literary fiction, and it's about a girl and her brothers who are growing up in Mississippi with their dad, and her mother has passed away, so she doesn't really have a womanly influence in her life, and she's going through a little bit of struggle. Her dad is an alcoholic. He's also claiming that there's a storm on the way, and everyone's like, there's no storm coming. Nothing's happening. But we're gonna indulge you. Her little brother is raising a pit bull who just gave birth to a litter of puppies, and so he's very into taking care of the pit bull that he has and their puppies because he wants to sell them so that they can make some extra money because they are kind of pretty poor. And because she doesn't have like a woman figure to talk to, she doesn't really understand a whole lot about her body and what's happening. So when she finds herself pregnant, she's just in limbo. She doesn't really know what to do. And I haven't gotten much further than her just discovering that she's pregnant. That's not a spoiler, I promise you. It's in the synopsis back here. Probably. And again, I only got 70 pages in, and I discovered she was pregnant, so we know this up front. But like I said, this is a DNF for now, just not forever. Then I had my buddy read with Ray, and we read Rise of Empire by Michael J. Sullivan. I gave this 3.25 stars. This was not the follow-up that I thought it was gonna be. Okay, I had a fantastic time with what was the first book? Theft of Swords. It's literally right there on the back. I had such a fun time with Theft of Swords when me and Ray read it at the beginning of the year, and I was like, we can finish this series in this year. So here we are with book 2, and it disappointed, muchly so. For the whole 700 and whatever pages that I was reading, I was not engaged. I loved Royce and Hadrian in the first book, as we were following them on a quest to get justice for the king's murder and subsequently become like mercenaries for the kingdom, and also trying to find like this chosen person who's supposed to rule the kingdom in all actuality and not the king, or the now king, since the other king died. Anyway, so I'm having a good time with that, right? I get here and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I do not care about Royce or Hadrian. And there were a lot of times I actually got the two of them confused. I could not remember who was who, what was whatting. And for the entire book, I was just like, what's the point? What is the point? This could have been half the number of pages, and we could have just had more, or we could have just gotten rid of this altogether and just had 2 bigger books. Honestly, this was not my favorite, and I'm hoping that when I read book 3, which I am going to do because this ended in a way where I was like, oh, Royce needs revenge. I'm hoping that book 3 ends in a way that gives justice to the series, because this was not it. The next book that I have for 4 words in the title is The Stories We Tell by Joanna Gaines. This is her memoir about growing up half Korean, I believe, half Korean and half white, and just feeling like, not that she didn't fit in, but like that she was outside while being on the inside, if you know what I mean. She was on the outside of the inside. And she also talks about like just how we create a narrative around our life and how we like speak ourselves into existence. If we always say like, hey, I'm not smart, then maybe we grow up not making wise decisions and believing that we are not smart. I didn't rate this. I don't rate memoirs because people's lives. It was something that I listened to. I needed something for my ears at a certain point. And I was just like, this is one of the shorter books on my TBR, and I know I could get the audio, so I listened to it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest. It was pretty middle of the road. If you're really interested in Joanna Gaines, give it a whirl. You don't get like any true insight to her, but like it's pretty surface. Then I also, again, needed something to listen to with my ears, and I had the audio, and it was also on my TBR, and that is Please Look After Mom by Kyung Suk Shin. This is translated from Korean, I want to say. Yes, it is translated from Korean. And so really this is every mom's dream. Well, kind of, but this is told in 4 parts. It's told from the perspective of a youngest daughter, oldest daughter, of a daughter, a son, a husband, and then finally the mom. So what happens is the mom and her husband are on their way to their oldest son's house just to celebrate their birthdays. As they're coming off of the train, the parents get separated, and so we're actually spending this whole novel trying to find mom. And they put up posters, they talk to people, they talk to the police, and they're trying to get back to their mother. So every perspective is kind of about how they didn't appreciate their mom as much as they should have, and how much she just sacrificed so much of her life for them, which oftentimes mothers do at the expense of maybe being forgotten or overlooked. And so you get the perspective of the daughter who's like, my mother was always overbearing and she always wanted me to do things, and I never really appreciated that she wanted me to do these things so that I could be the best. And like the daughter really talks about how like the mom paid more attention to the older brother and wanted him to excel. Then we have the view from the oldest brother who's like, I should have paid more attention to my mom. She always did everything for me so that I could be the best. She gave me the best portion of food. She made sure that I could have an education. And then we get the perspective of the father, and he's like, I didn't appreciate my wife enough. And he actually was not a fan of the father at all. And then we get the final perspective from the mom, and she's like looking back on her life and what she sacrificed for her family, her kids, her husband, other people in her family. And again, every mother would be like, you see, this is what would happen if you lost me. Cherish me now. I think I ended up giving this like a 3.5. I enjoyed it overall. I would read more from this author for sure. I thought the various perspectives was a great touch, especially seeing how everyone viewed their mom before and after she went missing, and how the mother herself viewed herself. I wanted to save this book to talk about last, but it's only got 4 words in the title, and we're sticking to the theme. So I read because I was bullied. Never forget I was bullied into getting all of these books. Although this book I already owned, so I was not bullied into getting this book, but I was bullied into reading them. Now, you know who you are, Jessica. Anyway, I read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I gave this a whopping 3.25. This behemoth of a book, this 1,000, I think it's like 1,007 pages, 1,001. It's 501 pages too long. That's what it is. Anyway, I read The Way of Kings. If you were to ask me what this is about, I would say, I don't know. We're following 4 different perspectives with interludes in between certain sections of the book. We've got Cal. You know what? For real. If you really want to know all the ins and outs, the in-depths, I'm going to link Jess Owens' video about this down below, because she does a fantastic job of telling you exactly what goes on. But we're following these separate people. One of them, Dalinar, he is the king's brother. The king died, assassinated. And Dalinar is like, I'm going to get, not revenge, but he's like, I'm going to find out who killed my brother, why they killed him, and what's going on. We've got Cal, poor sad Cal, who only sad things happen to him. But he is like, you know what? I have been sent here to save everybody, and he is going to save everybody, damn it. We've got, who else is in this book? Shallan. I don't really know what's going on with Shallan. She's trying to steal something from Yasna, and Yasna is actually Dalinar's niece. And she is like a high priestess of sorts. Unclear. Go watch Jess's videos. Basically, this was Bible fan fiction. Dalinar's Moses currently. He could turn into someone else. Cal is definitely Jesus. The Lord, he shows up in here in the last maybe 100 pages or so. So he's definitely in there. Syl, Holy Spirit. So yeah, this is basically Bible fan fiction, and I think that Brandy Sandy was like, let me get all of my favorite Bible characters in here and put them all together. I have all 4 books because I was anticipating reading all 4 of them before the 5th book comes out in December. Currently, I can't say that I will. I'm going to read the 2nd book because I have all 4, but yeah. I'm actually starting the next one tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to make it through. Hopefully I like it more and it will make me want to read 3 and 4 and 5, but currently as we stand, I do not. Like, look at, this is so unserious. This is the thing that they fight in the book. I forget what they're called. It's a giant crustacean. Look at it. It's a lobster. A lobster. This book is so unserious. Brandon was like, let me just create a textbook of nonsense. That's what this is. Literally, like, right after that, I finished, and then I picked up this, and this was Amari and the Despicable Wonders by B.B. Alston. This is the 3rd book in the Amari series, or the Supernatural Brothers series. I thought that this was the last book. And B.B. Alston, the author, came out a couple of weeks ago and was just like, hey, I know that this was going to be a trilogy, but honestly, this is not. So there's books 4 and 5 coming. However, this is 3. We're following Amari and company, Laura, Elsie, Jaden, as they go on this adventure to try to stop evil from happening. I can't tell you a whole lot. We're smack dab in the middle of the series, but know that this is probably my favorite. I finished this and I was crying. Like, I was full on crying at the end of this. And it just made me feel so warm and fuzzy. Amari just being protected and cared for by her friends and by adults in her life. And her in turn doing the same thing for them and wanting to make sure that everyone is okay. Everyone was okay. I wasn't okay. I was not okay. And I need Amari 4, because while I will say that I read this and I could easily not read 4 and 5. Like, I feel like this ended in a way where I could be like, you know what? This is fine. But I'm gonna read 4 and 5, probably. And last but not least is this book with 6 words in the title, and that is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. The eyes are the best part. Yep. And I gave that 3.5. I was also a buddy read with a friend of mine, and we're trying to like read weird things together because she also likes weird things. This is about Jiwon. She is Korean American, I believe, and her mom has, or well, rather her father has left the family, and so Jiwon and her sister, I can't remember her sister's name, and her mom are all living together, and her mom is Korean, so whenever they have like meals with fish, their mom is like, you should eat the eyes because the eyes are the best part. They give luck. And she really tries to instill in the girls, like, you should find a man who will take care of you. I also think that her mom is like holding out hope for the dad coming back, but it's just like, girl, let that man go. Anyway, the mom does start dating this white guy. Why do I want to call him Roger? I think his name is George. Yes, it is. And George has like these blue eyes. And Jiwon is like, goes on this very trippy kind of journey where she just envisions eating eyes a lot. And it becomes an obsession, really. A very weird obsession. At the same time, she hates George. She hates everything that George represents. I also hate George. He was not my favorite. But it's a weird, trippy time. It was not as weird as I was hoping it would be. And then there were just some things that happened plot-wise that I just wished were explained a little bit more for reasons of like character development or like reasoning behind things. Like, what's the motive here? And that's why I couldn't fully give it like a 4. And it didn't fully get like, it got weird, but it didn't get like super weird for me. So it didn't get quite like a Bloom level. Basically at this point, everything in my life is measured up to Bloom standards. Like, is it Bloom weird? You know, is there a raccoon? Do I want to go to the farmer's market and eat some cupcakes? You know, those are the measurements of weird books for me now. I'm sorry. There's no other measurement. So it didn't quite live up to Bloom status. That made me sad because like eyes, it feels very weird. But that's where I am. That was everything I read. A whole lot. Everything except for one book came from my own TBR. That makes me so happy. What book did you read that had the longest title? Let me know. I'd be curious. And did you read any of these books? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Let's talk about it down in the comments below. And until next time, bye.